This is impunity. The Ontario Police monitoring my genitalia, my nude body, circling over the apartment as I type out the documentation, which is on a device that the Ontario Police is monitoring. That's why they're flying directly over the apartment. That's how I anticipated their arrival. They're amplifying helicopter activity audibly. That's audible activity. They're flying over the property, which is the sky space where the fake sun rises and sets, where the fake moon remains, and they're continuously doing so as I am engaged in documentation inside of what is a private space. That demon is going to federal prison. Mike Lorenz, Paul Leon are done with being in government. And this is ongoing domestic terrorism that they engage in with impunity. I want to be clear, impunity is a key term with regard to federal prison, terms in federal prison that the people of the state are going to serve based on this evidence. This is domestic terrorism and psychological torture, and this is all centered on the fact that demons are hovering over the apartment building while my genitalia, my legs are spread open. I'm engaged in private and personal activity inside of the bathroom, which is wide and public information amongst a demon-possessed entity. That is the city of Ontario, the state of California. That's gang stalking. It's a massive sex offense. Everything happening in that bathroom, just like everything being documented on my phone, is public information. And there is no coincidence with regard to the simultaneity with which demons are stalking me in helicopters and then sounding the activity as I just so happen to be typing about it on my phone. Okay, this is terms for federal prison. Everybody in units, again, 33 through 64, they're going to federal prison. Tracy Banks is engaged in psychological torture of a sexual nature. That is committing the sex act of monitoring someone in a bathroom. There is no natural light activity that will create multiple shadows like this. So here's one, there's two. There is ongoing light activity as I walk through, just showing you this is not going to be resulting from the sun, which is the light activity during the day, nor is this the product of light activity from what are light fixtures over the building. These demons are monitoring, and they're over 55 monitoring somebody's genitalia. All these aged, liver spot covered, demon possessed gang stalkers who do not sleep. The demons that they are possessed by give them plenty of energy, and they're monitoring with the police, which is putting them all in prison. This is exceedingly violent, a conduct of a sexual nature, and the entity engages in psychological torture because you enforce your rights and tell on the fact that sex offenders are together targeting you. No police department that practices sexual violence and then has the audacity to waste millions of dollars of the city while they do so. They are literally, let's break this down, using helicopters to engage in sex acts against American citizens, and then are hostile because you're documenting it. Mike Lorenz is done with law enforcement, and so is every other person that works for the Ontario Police Department. They're going to be disbanded, and they're all done with law enforcement. This is hundreds and hundreds of times of terrorism by helicopter, and the Ontario Police refuse to learn their lesson, and that's why they're going to learn their lesson before the whole world. It is currently 11:13 p.m. where I'm subject to this ongoing sexual violence, cannot take my panties down in private. I cannot document the fact that I'm subject to that sexual violence without being subject to ongoing psychological torture, threatening my life. This entity engaged in repeated acts of kidnapping and criminal defamation with the third party that's inside of this apartment right now and continuously engages in it. And that's why she and the Ontario Police, that demon flying that helicopter, their name's going to be produced and they're going to prison. It is currently, again, 11:13 p.m. This is sexual violence committed by a community. It is federal group stalking and monitoring, referred to ordinarily as gang stalking. None of these demons are asleep. Being over 55 has nothing to do with the elements, and you are doing nothing other than the pattern of conduct where the entity has engineered light like this and a fake sun that I've documented rising and setting at Woodside Senior Apartments over this building, not ever leaving unless I leave. That's how you have the sun over Alvarado Gardens from rise until set, by the way, which is also not the natural environment. It's showing the setting where massive sexual violence is secretly underway. It's not a secret anymore, and since the Ontario Police like to practice sexual violence as opposed to serving and protecting the law that the Constitution that they are supposed to be authorized to serve and protect me, they are violating and gang stalking me, and they're obsessed with my genitalia. This is witchcraft. Okay, this is P.O.C. This is federal prison as I continuously document it. It is 11:14 p.m.